right now we're headed towards, scarcity for water, food. Like our air is so polluted already.
You believe in Big G?
I don't really believe in like a god per se.
That's why y'all promoting this.
Have you seen these billboards? One of the most obvious expressions of evil that I have ever seen. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friends, where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters. I've seen some evil things, as you have too, over the past few years, and of course the devil always masquerades as an angel in disguise. Evil always shows up saying, hey, we're here to help. Listen to us, do as we say, and you'll be better off. Okay, but for awakened people, we have a distinction. We realize, well, evil doesn't show up saying, I'm evil. It shows up saying, hey, I'm here to do good. So with that, one of the biggest expressions of evil I have seen is what's called the StopHavingKidsNow.org organization. So maybe you have seen billboards like these showing up around your city. If you haven't, God bless your city. Here in Austin, Texas, they're around, and they're around all over the country. Stop having kids. Why would these billboards be trying to prevent people from having kids? And who's behind it? We're going to investigate that in just a second. First, let's take a look at their satanic website, stophavingkids.org. And you can see, first off, their website is creepy. It's got these like AI generated humans instead of humans. And make no mistake, this is a very anti-human organization, so it makes sense that they wouldn't even have humans in pictures on their websites. Let's make fake humans because we hate humans. We hate lives. Why do you do that? Because we hate ourselves and we're propagating evil. Recently, I've heard the term for the first time from Elon Musk when he was on Rogan's podcast. Elon's been using the term to describe the behavior of what you and I would call evil forces, leftist forces in our world, and that would be the term extinction. There are extinctionists out there, people who are trying to end human life. And a lot of times their rhetoric, devil masquerading as an angel in disguise, their rhetoric of how we're here to help is like, wow, the earth is just way overpopulated. And, to save humanity, we've got to reduce the population. We've got to kind of kill humanity to save humanity. Just trust us on that. Don't think about it too hard, or it's not going to make any sense to you. This is an extinctionist organization. There's no explanation other than this is evil, trying to end human life. So here on their freakishly satanic website, you can see examples of their billboards trying to entice people through virtue into stop having kids. They tout themselves as being antinatalists. What does that term mean? Well, if you take a look on Wikipedia, which is also a good source for evil information, antinatalism, or antinatalism, which is the same thing, is a family of philosophical views that are critical of reproduction. They consider coming into existence as bad, or deem procreation as immoral. Antinatalists thus argue that humans should abstain from having children. Antinatalist views are not necessarily limited only to humans, but may encompass all sentient creatures, claiming that coming into existence is a harm for sentient beings in general. That math doesn't add up. If you want to stop humans from coming into existence because humans coming into existence harms sentient humans that are already in existence, you do the math and realize if people buy into that, what you have is no humans. You have extinctionism. So back to stophavingkids.org. They're antinatalism. It's all an attempt to stop reproduction. Here's part of their little stupid mission. Norms should evolve. We want to normalize antinatalism, which is we want to normalize an end to reproduction. Child freedom and prioritizing already existing life. And again, if you just do a little math, you realize in a generation, if this philosophy takes hold, you don't have existing life. Therefore, your argument falls apart. If you're wanting to prioritize existing life, then that means you need life to be existing. If you're wanting to prioritize them, take care of them. But mathematically, in one generation, you have no more existing life to prioritize. based on your philosophy, which suggests, just like much evil propaganda we've seen in the past, if you do a little logical math, it doesn't add up and you might not want to buy into it. Might want to see it for the devil that it is. By the way, this devil doesn't even masquerade as an angel in disguise very well. I think they could package this BS to be at least a little more convincing. At least try, guys. And aside from Wikipedia and these Satanists, extinctionists, their own website, they define what is antinatalism. Antinatalism is a stance that it is wrong for humans as a whole to procreate. Got it. Thanks for letting us know who you are, guys. And stophavingkids.org, they have some in-person rallies. I'm guessing they're pretty prominent in leftist cities. But nonetheless, here is an organization. I believe this little street gathering, a little protest, notice us, let us indoctrinate you. I believe this one specifically took place in Austin, Texas. So let's take a look at one of their activists who's holding the camera. You'll hear her shrill little voice, and you'll hear people asking her common sense questions and saying common sense things. And you get to be the judge. Does her answers, does her stance, does her philosophy hold any water whatsoever? Let's take a look.
Well, we would rather people encourage, we would rather people help already existing life that's here now. So whether that's like other children, other adults, other animals, and yeah, rather than bringing another person.
If we stop having kids, you know that we're gonna go extinct, correct?
Well,
Now that guy might be a mathematician. He just did some quick math. Did you know if we stop having kids, we go extinct, right? Yeah, that's what an extinctionist wants.
we're actually already in the sixth mass species extinction right now that we've actually caused. So we're already headed towards extinction regardless. And it's really kind of unrealistic to think that 8 billion people are just going to stop procreating, all of a sudden that we're going to go extinct. So that's very unrealistic to think.
By the way, you can tell how scholarly she is based on her using the word like every 6 words.
So no, it's stop having kids across the board.
Kids.
I don't have any kids.
You're not gonna have no kids.
Let's just deal with what we got going on.
90, you gonna go 90 and not have no kids.
I don't want to live until I'm 90, so.
I get your point about.
By the way, I don't want to live until I'm 90. Mentally ill people need help. Depressed people need help. People that hate themselves need help. They don't need affirmation, and let alone they don't need proclamation of their self-hate projected outward. Someone who says, I don't want to live till I'm 90, that's someone you don't want to take advice from. That's someone you probably want to give advice to.
Like the going extinct, whatever. But that would take 400 to 600
Why would we
years.
want to start that process though?
We're already in it. We're already in it.
Yeah, the guy to the side, as you saw, it would take 400 to 600 years for us to actually go extinct. And then the common sense question, well, why would we even want to start that process?
In that process to begin with
But
anyway.
two wrongs don't make a right.
That's true, but let's just say hypothetically speaking, if humanity was okay, we're just gonna stop procreating, then we would create systems and make it so that it's not such a harsh extinction. Right now, we're headed towards scarcity for water, food.
She said we would put systems in place so it's not a harsh extinction. Still an extinction, but not a harsh extinction, so it should be good.
Our air is so polluted already.
You believe in Big G?
I don't really believe in a God per se.
That's why y'all promoting this.
It's not
That's
true.
why.
We actually have Christians
Big
and
G.
people who believe in God that do participate with us.
Big G will. That's how you got it. And have another child to be raised another prince. You a super.
Be fruitful and multiply. That is, of course, what the Big G would say. He gives us the will to procreate, the ability to procreate. And maybe the opposite of the Big G is the one that, wants the opposite of that. God's way, cool. Who wants the opposite? Evil, Satan. So I think this guy just masterfully dismantles her argument in one word. Cool, you don't believe in God? That makes sense why you want people to not procreate, not reproduce. Makes sense why you want to end life. It's because you don't believe in God. You need God. So, who is behind this, what I'm calling satanic extinctionist movement that is stophavingkids.org? Well, luckily, we have the internet on our side and someone did a little investigating. Who's behind the Portland billboards demanding people stop having kids? Even in a city accustomed to freewheeling messages, calls for a human breeding ban are unusual. Saying a lot for Portland. So in the article, she says, the billboards say they are paid for by a little-known organization called Stop Having Kids. That same advocacy group, which got its start in Portland, shocker, according to a spokesperson put up a third billboard along Interstate 5. Stop Having Kids spokeswoman Ashley Riddle says the group started informally in Portland a few months before March 2021. Yeah, like why did she say it that way? Why didn't she, like, what's a few months before March 2021? Like December 2020, like just speak like a human here, you demented psycho. And it identifies itself as a collective liberation movement. That kind of rhymes with communism, doesn't it? Its website makes the group's platform clear. The organization is antinatalist. We know what that means, meaning it's against all human reproduction. She declined to identify the founder of Stop Having Kids by his full name. I wonder why he wants to hide. Does evil like to hide in the shadow? Oh, it does, doesn't it? Okay. Well, he doesn't want to be seen. Saying she knows him only as Dietz. State records, however, show that Stop Having Kids was incorporated in January 2021 by Eric Goldberg, a Portland photographer whose middle name is Dietz. Well, I think we kind of found the guy hiding in the shadows. And things do get a little more interesting because StopHavingKids.org, they tie in antinatalism with veganism. Here on their website, they've got a term they kind of invented, vegan antinatalism. Yeah, vegan tinatalism. It's a dumb word, okay? But veganism, antinatalism combined. Clever, guys. A large segment of people who identify as an antinatalist also identify as vegan. Love how they use the term identify. Are you a vegan? No, but I identify as one. Are you a woman? No, not at all, but I identify as one. And a large segment of people who identify as vegan have an anti-procreation stance. Do they? Maybe. I don't know. But don't know about the term antinatalism or choose not to identify as such. Long story short, this organization, based in evil, is all about stopping reproduction, and they're all about veganism. And it's also a little bit interesting how leftism really promotes veganism. Okay, antinatalism obviously meant to end life pretty directly. They're really hitting it on the nose there, pretty direct. Veganism, propagated by some of the same leftists. Is that also an attempt to end life? Trying to talk people out of eating life-giving proteins, some of the best life-giving nourishment foods you can ever find, trying to talk people out of eating those. Devil masquerades as an angel in disguise. Here's why it's healthier. Other science says otherwise. That's just an interesting correlation. Now I realize some people might choose veganism of their own accord, and maybe it actually has health benefits for some people, maybe for temporary periods of time, maybe long-term. I'm not sure. I'm not a master of everyone's single individuality, but I also wonder, even some people who are individually choosing veganism, is that just an original thought of theirs, or have they been indoctrinated by some of this same leftism that is also propagating antinatalism? It's just a question. And here on the Stop Having Kids YouTube channel, which is really rich content, they've got just atrociously stupid videos. I mean, just horrible across the board. And I don't know the video you're about to watch, the person yelling, is that the founder or is it just someone who's been indoctrinated and is now an activist? But you'll see they don't necessarily behave with loving kindness, which tells us something. Let's take a quick look.
Where's your little woman?
Oh, she had to go grab her water.
Let me tell you something. You're insulting mothers, fathers out here. It's an insult. I take that personally.
Oh.
Let me tell you something. If you ever, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Ma'am, you're unhinged. You shouldn't be talking to anyone.
Ma'am, you're unhinged. You shouldn't be talking to anyone. That's just cute.
Hey.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so it's called Stop Having Kids.
Stop having kids?
Yeah, we're not trying to take people's choice away to have kids. We're not trying to control anyone's life or their body, but we're trying to reduce suffering in the world. Coming into
By the way, she just put her mask on above her nose, so now it's working.
existence is guaranteed suffering for that person, for others, for the environment. And the bigger part of our message is that we should be helping already existing life in need. We have about 500,000 kids in the foster care system in the United
It's interesting. We want to end reproduction because it stops people from guaranteed suffering. You know what else it stops people from experiencing? Guaranteed joy, guaranteed happiness, and guaranteed life. So with that said, my freedom-loving friends, look for these billboards if they're around your city and make sure you see them for exactly what they are. The movement trying to indoctrinate people into stopping having kids, which by the way is the most sacred thing I've ever done. It's the most beautiful, life-giving thing I've ever done. It's the highlight of my life by far. But these people are trying to rip that idea away from people, and I think it's nothing but evil behind it. It's extinctionist. With that said, my freedom-loving friends, as G.I. Joe would say, knowing is half the battle. Now we know. Look forward to seeing you on our next video, but before that, here's a special message. It's the holiday season, which means it's time for family stress, pain, and suffering. So how can you handle those crazy relatives of yours that still think we're in the first 15 days to slow the spread? Like when you get together and they try to inflict their hand of tyranny on you with their controlling safety protocols that are very scientific. What can you do to eliminate that stress? Well, here at Awaken CBD, we recommend compassionately looking them in the eyes, holding their mask down, coughing, and then giving them a big smile to spread the holiday joy. And though that'll be fun and well worth it, when that doesn't work, try relaxing with our Awaken CBD Day to Night bundle. It's complete with CBD energy soft gels for the day to help you put your crazy relatives in their place, and CBD sleep soft gels to help you sleep like a baby, no matter how much you offended everyone. And with this special offer, the Day to Night bundle offers you a 20% holiday savings. Click here to get yours. Enjoy.